Friends, very good morning to all. Very good morning to all and respected friends. After various attacking types, we'll go one by one. And important like a denial of services and distributed denial of services. In any network you take, especially in a local area network, in a wide area network, in a global network, who are all the attackers? Who are all the attackers likely to find the status of an information, main intention of stealing a flow of an exchange, a manner in which way they decide, which are going their own way, mechanism which are nothing but a flooding. They used to identify the topology, they used to identify the structure of a network logically, physically, then immediately they used to access a server remotely, activate such a way that conditionally no chance of flow of an exchange further. And they used to target in order to handle all obsolescence, indisciplined manner, and finally the whole network is going to be an infection, not in a position to clear and attack free, which are in a different, just what the logical approach and the physical approach you are seeing, like a type of a system, so type of a server, so type of a mainframe, so which are going to be accessible for remotely a small set of a device acts like an attacking, coordinating with a set of instruction packages, how the way in which the most of the data which are going to be make it vulnerable, weakness and liability is going to be spoiled. All sort of the information which are going to be under through the state of DOS, denial of service attack. But same type of a denial of service attack which are in heterogeneous, because one state of an information which are unknown to another one, similarly which are known to X, unknown to Y, they combine together whole set of a network, a distributed paradigm, then that type of attacking we can call it as distributed denial of service attack. Similarly, which makes a sense of thousands, a number of computers, a group of a computer, team of a user, team of an attacker. They mix together, they used to distribute for stealing, attacking a set of instruction package and also the exchange unit. Wherever it exists locally, they used to do the work, task, execute remotely. We can call it as distributed denial of services. Still, if you go further, some of the important spoofing. See, especially we can say bluffing, tricking, cheating, whatnot, a technique used to gain, which are going to be make a very vulnerable manner, unauthorized access whereby the standard level of burglar, imposter, who are all there, used to send a message to a system with an IP address. Especially what will happen if you have a class of IP, they used to identify like a class A, class B, class C. Through the IP address, they used to formulate, because a structure of an IP is a classless. So a structure of IP is a payload information. No? Structure of IP is a data set. Too. Structure of IP is a offset, onset. These are all the flags they used to study thoroughly. Through that one, they used to send a attacking message, and which are from especially those which are a trustworthy principle or important level of servers which are installed in any organization. In any organization, that mechanism you can call it as spoofing. That means to say a bluffing of, tricking of, cheating of a useful information in a vulnerable manner, and especially from the unauthorized user, who are all going to be burglar, imposter, send a chunk of flow to a system with the help of an IP address, because they used to study maybe a class of 4 or a class of 8, whatever it may be. Then they understand easily structure of that one. Through that one, how the attack is going, we can call it as spoofing. We can mention like a tricky way of how they used to attack. The next one is man in the middle, especially inhaling, a smelling of a flow of an exchange. We can call it as usual data is the packets, so, which are going to be transferred from network A to network B to network X, like that way. It modifies them and insert them back into the network. See what will happen? Any network wide and scope, if you consider systematically having a group level of a structure, and they used to smell, they used to thoroughly inhaling the exchange unit, and they come to know, make some sort of an alteration, modification, updation to the existing packet, and somewhere else they used to insert. Even or it may be the sender and the receiver and the network and a server and a client may not come across where exactly this sort of attacking is going to be take place. That means to say the changes are going to be happening within the network halfway, and you can say that one because of a user unnecessary making a vulnerable condition, unauthorized way of accessing the whole set of a network. We can call it as man in the middle. A person who thoroughly study, understand, realize whole set of, then insert that particular modified exchange unit into a network without knowing overall maybe that level of flow, we can call this man in the middle. Similarly, another one is like a spam. We have come across regularly in our email box. If you have an email ID, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Reddit Mail, whatnot, which are there, spam. What you call spam? Basically, junk one. It's a rubbish one, scrap one. This type of a maybe not for the purpose, maybe a commercial email, I mean, considered to be a nuisance rather than an attack. Correct? No, we used to get most of the flow data, and which are going to be vectorizing one and the other way. If you are going to be open and study thoroughly, understand such a way that which are going to be some sort of attacking. You can call it as spam and the man in the middle. And similarly, tricking and the cheating flow. These are some of the important attacking from various attackers from the beginning point to the end point and also the middle of the network. You see that one simple diagram, IP spoofing. See, I mentioned a clear structure IP address 192.168.0.25. What this class? This is a class C address 0 to 127, 127 to 191, 128 to 191, 192 to 223, class C address. See, a user having a class C address, they used to send to the class B, correct, no? And there should be some sort of a payload. The system is original IP packet from hacker system. So they used to modify it. They knew that one, where the generation of the flow of an exchange of an IP address is class C, but the flow which are going to be target to the class B. They come across easily, they understand the target machine, they understand realize the server of a class, then the changes are going to modified. Once again they used to insert. See that one? Hacker modifies the source address to firewall. There itself only, because they have a set of instructions, a hacking level of a virus and vulnerable type of a code which are available. They used to study thoroughly, and they are going to be make a offset flag instead of onset. Then immediately they are forced to transmit through middle of the network. You say firewall allows a packets mistaking if legitimate. Any type of a traffic is authenticate appropriate. Correct? No. See, the main job of a box, what it says, this is a router. Router, a configure for a privacy. Router configured for a robustness. Router configured for a security. Then it's called a firewall. See, it will see what are all the flow which are going to be transferred and then which are going to be executable and target machines. See, there itself only. See, firewall, there should be a configuration and you can easily manage. If you are not setting like this classes only IP address of the transmission you have to carry, then okay, restricted. If not, then it's a problem. Then see that one spoofed corresponding way, packet slips into intranet and especially which are going to be weakening whatever the exchange of a flow. And this type of a mechanism, a technique or methodology used by intruder, used by attacker, we can call it as IP spoofing. They study thoroughly, understand the clear flow of an information of an IP, which class and where exactly you can insert a payload, where exactly you can insert offset flag, and is it possible to modify it without knowing a source and destination user address, user specification. This type of problem usually today you can find out, especially if you have a vulnerable, a public domain of a network, there you can easily find out because of a specially authenticated, appropriate and trustworthy network. It's impossible. And see that one, their state of an information. If you take an example like a company A attempts to establish an encrypt session with company B. If you say a Tata company A, similarly telco company B, they used to send an information from one to another, which within the, please keep in mind, is a public domain. Hacker intercept the transmission and understand the reality of a company B telco and exchange his own key with a company A, then establish a session with a company B as a company. They used to understand thoroughly what sort of a key mechanism they used to follow for sending a privacy key, privacy matter. They used to, that the key is nothing but basically using for authorization, authentication, confidentiality information maintaining, integrity, CIA, correct now? What we just come across like a confidentiality, integrity, availability of this one, correct now? They used to thoroughly study. Then third one, sends all message to the hacker who receives a decrypted copies and forward copy, possibly modified to company B. That means to say in between a network, they used to take the flow of an exchange, even though encrypted, they thoroughly study the company A and company B. I have given an example like a TCS company and the telco company, Tata, whatever it may be. How the attack which are going to be manageable, how these attacks are going to be predictable, detectable, we can call it as man in the middle attack. And another important mail bombing, we can say, especially in case of a denial of services, a large quantities of emails used to become, large quantity of emails, which are going to be targeted to the server, and we, without knowing, correct no, the box immediately will just open, then a chances of going to be infect also. We can call this mail bombing. Generally, you can send and reply to any sort of this type of mails which are going to be a virus or virus free. Then automatically they study thoroughly identification, authentication of the user. Then they used to see, especially where it will happen if you go with for purchasing like a Flipkart, Snapdeal, Amazon, and wherever it may be, offers which are going to be correct now freely, buy one get another one free, whatever it may be. They used to thoroughly study, which goes to a group, then immediately going to be attacked to the server. That means to say, which are in the form of electronic mail, especially in case of a denial of services, in which the attacker routes large quantities of email. We can find out, correct? No, if you see that one, any email today, we can find out ourselves. The purpose of email is only minimize, but you see that one delay, especially denial of services, is maximized because of this mail bombing. And another important one is inhaling snippers. Those who are inhaler, smeller, they understand the reality, complete flow of a program and a device, how which are going to be monitoring, traveling, transmissions are going to be take place from network to network, and can be used both, correct? No, especially in case of authenticated and in case of appropriate network managed functions which are going to be steal an information from a network, we can call it as a snippers. Snippers are especially inhaling, smelling a complete picture about what sort of a programs are executing in a system and especially device, and how which are going to be monitoring and data which are going to be travel in a network, used for authentication purpose, used for appropriate purpose, used for real time application, and which are going to be manageable with the help of stealing information from a network. And especially social engineering. If you look at like a Facebook, social network, WhatsApp, Telegram, correct, various other services within the context of information security, in which way the process using a social skills convince, we can reveal an access for gaining especially the valuable or valuable information to the attacker. One of the important like a understanding each other face to face. Similarly, how we can easily understand without face to face, can easily manage a context of information security, the process which are going to be take place with a convinced manner who are available in a network and number of user. You can, that is also one type of attack. Especially you can spread out ourselves. I'm so and so, correct? No, then all among a 10% of the people we can't just, they have a positive and 10% of the user may be correct. No, understand the real trust of the complete organization. Among that one, still we can find out 10% maybe negatively. These negative remarks, correct? Now we can find out which are going to be whatever the gain of a network, which are going to be pain also due to the how the attacking flow going to be take place, especially in case of social networking paradigm. One can call it as overall going to be managing a social network, from them also chances of attacking. People are the weakest link. They have the best technology, firewalls, intrusion, detection systems, biometric devices. Somebody can call unsuspecting employee. That is all correct now. Everything. See in which way we can able to understand relieveness, comfortableness, satisfaction. You can say a number of levels of layer approaches which are available from the beginning to the where exactly the device which are going to be managed. Similarly, how the device is going to be enabling with the help of a set of instruction software, and similarly how which are going to be managed with an information, and finally what sort of a creativity, all which comes to a picture. But here we can find out like a best technology of a firewalls, intention of handling a privacy, institutional progressiveness, gathering a flow which are very confidential and which are going to be intrusion detection system. IDS, we can call it as this one of the specialized area in cybersecurity. IDS, intrusion detection systems. Is it possible to predict who are all the user enter to the organization, the purpose, manage, correct? No, you come across some characteristic features and biometric devices, correct? No, today if you go for making an Aadhaar card after 15 years, once again you go for updating your Aadhaar card. If you go correct the same set of data, how they can easily identify? We have a flow of a data on the Aadhaar card. What we have a number representation, correct? No, 12 digits. Similarly, that 12 digits which are going to be managed or not is a right person, CRE. Then once again you might be come across thumb they used to take, fingers they used to take, biometric, correct? No, did you observe that the device is very carefully, because what we are going to give one unique identification like Aadhaar card, correct? No, that itself is privacy, and somebody can call an unsuspecting, correct? No, say they used to say I'm so and so a manager of SBI, please we have a card of like a debit card, credit card, we have a problem of your card, please kindly let me know, could you let your card numbers details, CPP, VPP per number, pin. No, they used to ask, correct? No, unsuspecting level of accessibility, and similarly how everything is going to be happening day to day, correct? No, even though we are talking positively, but changes are. And next one is called a brick attack, the best configured firewall in the world, stand up well packed brick, that means to say which are in a stack level of a format, which will check every level from the zeros and ones also, from the frame level also, from the packet level also, from the segment level also, which are looks like a brick. For that is called a brick attack. Even though how the attacking positively gain make a vulnerability to the whole network, the best even though you say this is our best configured network from Cisco or use company or like a standard level of a network service provider, then also how which are going to be attacked, a total stack of a set of devices, we can call it as brick attack. Buffer overflow. See, we have a sense of understanding any sort of a system which are going to be useful for our specific purpose. Even though you are going for installing a software, even though you are going for cleaning a cache level, then there should be a minimum level of a buffer exists. If any chances of overflow, then that is also going to be a misuse or misutilize an attacker for stealing a flow of an information in an organization. Application error occurs when more data is sent to a buffer, then it can handle. See, they used to send. See, what will happen? You would like to go for sending a greeting from who is a friend is available in Muscat, who is a friend is available in Dubai, who is friend available in Kabul, correct? No? Many periods of the day. See, we have a different format of a spec of sending a greeting, correct? No? I can send a text also. I can send a flow of an information in a flower, cake, whatnot, correct? No? But we understand very clearly which are a combined together exchange flow. Even though minimum level of an exchange of a flow, but we have a diagram of a figure of a flower and a structure of the cake, whatever it may be, correct, which are going to be carry the extra buffer. When the buffer overflow, the attacker can make the target system execute instructions positively. The attacker can take advantage. They used to come what sort of an advent of flow, a chances of consequence of a failure. That means to say, we maintain for a minimum level of a buffer, but in order to manage with the maximum usage, but whatever the maximum usage, we mean for keeping that particular buffer, which are going to be unauthorized, which are going to be useful for unauthorized attacker, especially during the time of executing various type of an instruction in a system from the source to the destination. Probably the whole set of instructions, whole set of configuration within a network, we can call it as buffer overflow. And usually the attacker fill the overflow with an executive code to evaluate and elevate very clearly permission to that administrator. See what will happen. For time being, suppose if you go with an installing a specific software, it will ask you for clear so and so files, clean some files. Then you can use a clean software, which are going to be destroyable. But once you start that one immediately, which are taking in a different route to in fact a data flow which are going to be useful for an application. That's why attacker fill the overflow buffer with an executable program to elevate attacker permission to that of an administrator. Suppose we install like Windows 2010, there is an administrator. If any sort of a package which are going to be executable for installing setting configuration, we need some set of a standard level of a flow of an exchange, which are quite in the form of overflow of a buffer. We can call it as buffer overflow attacker with the permission of an administrator and super user, network admin, whoever it may be. They used to take a permission through that one. They used to manage and attack the whole set of a network. And ping of a death attacks. This is a very probably all we come across the type of denial of service attack. Ping is programmable internet gopher. See what will happen? I'm searching, I'm browsing, surfing for particular network. We are indeed not in a position to accessible, executable, get a flow, reply from that particular server. Then use like a ping command. Attacker creates an ICMP packet. Especially ping is always executing endorsed with Internet Control Message Protocol packet. That is larger than a maximum allow bytes. The capacity in 65,535, a standard level is 2 power of 16 level of representation. So maximum level of allowed bytes at a time because of using Internet Control Message Protocol, and which creates very clearly understanding they are using, or maybe the user using ping command. The larger packet is fragmented into a smaller packets and reassembled at its destination. What will happen? Which are going to be shrink, which are going to be synchronized for easy flow, from a source to the destination. Complete structure of a bytes, which are two packets, which are fragmented into a smaller packets, and which are going to be reassembled at its destination. It used to follow, and you see that one. Beginning of this one is speed this much, and mediatory level this much, and mid level this much, and finally the last level while coming out the session also this much. You can come across easily how many number of packets are going to be distributed from source to the destination. Total number of packets lost, total number of packets gained, and we can easily find out with the help of a ping command. If we have any sort of attacking strategy, then that is going to be ping of death attack. Destination user cannot handle the reassembled oversight packet, and thereby causing the system to crash or freeze. What will happen? Not in a position, because these are all moving in the form of a fragmentation, minimizing and maximizing, correct? No, destination user who are all there, and it may be a server, it may be a end level user, entrepreneur, whoever it may be, unable to handle the reassembled oversized packet, because in which minimize for purpose of easy way of transmitting from source to destination, which are not in a position to reassemble on the target machine, which easily cause system to crash or freeze. What will happen? Sometime, correct? No, you are using 192.16, 192, 168, 3.200. Most of them are correctly executing C programming, C++, Java, C program, Java, whatnot, which are, and you open number of editors, Pico editor, VI editor, we are not in a position to come out easily. A system become hang, system become crash. Then what are the options? Because of the ICM packet, Internet Control Message Protocol packet, take into consideration to maintain the flow of an exchange in a fragmentation manner from source to destination. The last one is called a timing attack. We have come across like which is a very latest one, relatively provide a time sense one, exploring whatever the contents of a web browser cache. Suppose we are using like a Netscape Navigator, Netscape Communicator, Chrome, Edge, correct? No, one to another. Now, if you go for using some standard level of flow, which are not going to be applicable at all, exploring the contents of a web browser cache, the minimum level of a cache, especially today what we are facing like online tools for conducting classes. If we execute a low-end browser, a low-end browser, we are not in a position, but cache is a limited that one. But if you use like a Edge, if you use like a Chrome, then easily executable. Allowed collection of information and access to the password protected site. Probably you might be come across level of various type of authenticated passwords also maintainable. Another attack by same name involves attack into cryptographic elements. Suppose you say AAA, BBC, correct? No, you may give an alphabetic number A for 1, B for 2, 3, C for 3, then Z for 26. Instead of writing like a ABCD, you can write these are the flow of an information, determine keys and encryption. These are the standard level of an algorithms available. How? Which are going to be manageable, understandable, highly reliable with various levels of attacks. A time sense attack is a new set of relatively attacking most of the existing web browser because of a low cache. Similarly, collection of access password protect. This completes the various attacks. Next class will follow what are all the risk management to flow and how which are going to be manageable, what is meant by cyber security, and which are going to be a last contents of the first unit representation. And before start of the next class, I'll give a question